What is MMA? We have been seeing this question come up quite a bit lately, and we want to tackle this with you today on the Biz Talk. All right. Today we're going to get serious, Tracey. No jokes, no messing around.
MMA, mixed martial arts today.
We're going to talk about mixed martial arts. It's funny because I've mentioned MMA on Twitch, and there was, and because I talk about mixed martial arts, even like these fighters that I listen to on podcasts, and I bring that in, and then I think we mentioned MMA one time, and people were like, wait, are you talking about?
What are we talking about?
Today we're talking about the chemical MMA, which stands for methyl methacrylate, okay? And today we're also talking about methyl methacrylate, MMA, in liquid, in monomer, okay? So this is where there's a lot of confusion surrounding MMA.
It all gets confusing when you start talking chemicals with me. I just want to know what's approved and what I can use.
Yeah, totally. I completely agree. And so I want to clarify first, okay? The MMA that has this sort of like controversy around it. We've been getting a lot of questions lately too, like in our DMs and emails, a lot about it. So we're talking about it in monomer, in nail liquid, okay? Acrylic powders, a lot of people will look at ingredients, and what you'll see is like, it'll say polyethyl methyl methacrylate. Not an issue. There's never been an issue with this. It's not dangerous. There's no issues surrounding on acrylic powder. Okay. Any time that the topic comes up of MMA, dangerous, or illegal in states and so on and so forth, use, harmful, it's always what we're talking about is in monomer, in the nail liquid. That's what you want to watch out for.
Okay, so there's something different that happens between
completely.
The two. Okay.
Completely. In that process of converting into a powder, it completely changes it so that you're not going to have the dangers, the issues that come with it being in a liquid, which is what we are going to talk about today, and what those are, why, it is illegal in California and many states. What is the problem surrounding it? On your side, Tracey, you've had experience and seen it and play with it. I don't have that kind of. I know the smell, and obviously I'm very educated on the issues and problems that have come about with it. But just want to clarify that first.
Okay.
Like, we're talking about the liquid, the monomer. This is where the issues come about. So we've had a lot of questions lately, like people asking, like, hey, is MMA okay? And I'm like, what the heck? No. First of all, no, never, ever, ever use it.
I was always, when I came out of school, basically what I was told is MMA is dental acrylic.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly, is what it's used for, is on that side. And I think the primary use is to make like teeth replacement or dentures or that whole field. Yeah. Okay.
Which explains why it's so hard.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Because you're talking about teeth.
Yeah. It's got to last.
You got to chew.
It's got to last.
You got to bite down on things. So that makes sense. But for the nail, like right now, if I'm feeling my nail, there's flexibility in my nail. Total. There's like I can push into it, and there's a little give in my nail. It's not like my teeth, I don't you don't want that. But let's talk about this, Tracey. Why, from the doing nails and on that side of things, from the salon side, why is MMA a problem? Using the liquid, why is it a problem?
Well, from what I've seen is it can create quite a bit of damage.
Yeah.
I've seen nails, like, it doesn't just break off. It takes the nail with it because it is so hard. There's issues with removal with it. I find it too yellow. So there's problems just in consistency with it for me. The smell, to me, it has a sweet smell, which is interesting, but it's very potent. And then when I've worked on it, not doing it, but like someone come in and I had to work over their nails and I was filing it, my lips actually go numb.
Whoa.
Yeah. I knew immediately, not because you file it, you have a smell, and then my lips would always start to like get this tingly, numb feeling, and I didn't like that at all. I did not like to work over MMA. I wouldn't. I got to the point where I just wouldn't. No, those need to be. You need to have clean nails before you come in, because even soaking it or trying to remove it. Ever. Yeah. I seen someone actually break their cuticle, their acrylic nippers trying to get it off.
Oh my God.
Because it's that strong.
So that's kind of one of the descriptions, right? It's like it bonds like concrete.
Yes.
You don't want look, you want adhesion.
Yeah.
You know,
kind of in the back of my head, I'm like, awesome, it's bonding. You know what I mean? But
yeah. But these are the things that we don't think about is like, these are enhancements. They're put on, and then they're what's it called? You have to maintain them, which means which means you're taking down bulk, and then the other thing too is you want there to be some give, because if you do like catch your nail on something and you want it to eventually break, you don't want to rip your nail off.
Yeah, you want mild flexibility.
Correct.
You need it to bend and give with the natural nail. And when you have something that's hard and something that's a little soft, and those two worlds just don't combine.
Yeah, they don't combine. There's, there's a reason why we like, if you look at, outside of it being illegal in California, okay? Yeah.
Despite
that, obviously that's a huge thing, right? But let's just take that out of the picture for a second. There's a reason why we, young nails, we look at all of these things. We test everything.
Yeah.
We test everything. And of course, if it's illegal, that takes it out of the question, right? But still, as a company and as a human being, I still question things, right? Okay, why is it illegal? So what do? We test it, we play with it, we look at it. We research. We always do our research. And what I can tell you is that it's like insanely inexpensive, right?
And that's why people like to use it.
That's why people like to use it. I get that. There's the cost, but it's also like, if there's a product that can potentially really cause damage to your nails and then makes the job of the nail professional, a little more challenging in terms of removal and maintenance, and then things are taking longer, and the way that it files and lips going numb. I mean, some insane stuff happening here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And maybe not everybody has that, but I tell you, I could. Minute I started filing it, every time I knew. And I like the fact that you brought up the price point, because we've seen people say, well, I like to use it because the price point is much cheaper. For me, I would say, then you're not charging enough for your nail services.
Right.
I'm not going to strictly use a product because it's cheap.
Right.
For me. Then, I price my nails where I'm making a good return on my, return, no matter what I'm doing.
Right. I think that's a really important point to make. And here's the thing too. When you break down per set, how much you're saving if you're using MMA versus EMA. So the safe acrylic monomer to use is called EMA, which is all
very confusing because it has the MAs.
Yeah, exactly. I know, and they can sound very similar, but it's ethyl methacrylate versus methyl methacrylate, right? And the cost savings. So, like when you're per service, I mean, I haven't broken it down, but let's say it comes down to, a couple dollars per set. If I'm doing the math in my head, I know you can get like a gallon of MMA for, I don't know, $30, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
And then we charge, 32 ounces is going to cost 72 or something.
80. Yeah. 83, I believe. I think now.
Is it 83?
No. Opposite. The 660 is 83.
Yeah.
This
it's
is
like 72, 73 $73. So when you break it down, the cost, so you can get a two something. So it's like, geez, what does that come down to? I don't know. You're talking, maybe it's costing you 50 cents per 40 cents per set versus $3 or $4 per set, right? So there's like a $2.50, 60, I don't know what it is. I have to do the math. But if you're doing percentages, okay, yeah, there's like a big difference. But when you break it down per set, if you're charging $15 for a set, okay, yeah, it's going to make a difference. But to Tracy's point, you're 100% correct. You should not be charging $15. I don't care what salon you are. Stop doing that now. Yeah. Okay, you need to charge more money for your acrylic. And if you're making more money, if you're charging, let's say you get from that point, let's say you're in the $40, the $50, you have so much margin. You can use quality products. You can use safe products. There's not going to be that issue there. That's a huge point.
Yeah. And, there are things that some people I've seen, like, remember when the Sharpies were the big thing? You on top of the acrylic and you kind of watercolor it, which is really cool.
Totally.
I saw this whole article, and I'm not saying one way or the other. You have to make your own decision that this is bad because it's a Sharpie. And I'm like, it's on top of an enhancement. So there's things that I do, may do. But like when it comes to something like MMA, I wouldn't want my customer, because I'm in California. It's not approved in California.
Correct. It's illegal in California.
For a client to come in and go, why are you using that on me? This is the information, I don't even want to have that conversation.
Dude.
Oh, well, it's cheaper.
Yeah. Well, then why are you charging me $80?
Because I like money.
Yeah, there you go. So you do, first of all, if you're in California and you're using MMA, you're at the risk of shutting down your salon.
That's a real thing. Some people don't think that's a real thing.
That's a real thing, man. And the smell, it's so pungent. Mm-hmm. Like it hits.
It's so unique.
Very unique.
It's funny because we've been out of country before, and everybody, just huge facilities with a ton of people.
Yeah.
And the minute someone opens that up, I know.
Yep. You can tell. It. You can totally smell it, man. It has a very unique, pungent, hit, but you are really putting yourself at risk, mm-hmm. and it's not worth it. Use the safe, approved, and there's many options of high quality, EMA liquid on the market. We're one of them, right?
Yeah.
The nails, we have so much success in the world with our liquid and our powder system. It's completely safe. It's just the right flexibility. It's the right amount of where your nails are going to stay on, yet removal and filing them and maintenance is not an issue at all.
Yeah, I think that's huge. And just the well-being of your clients, and knowing that you're doing everything that your state board is telling you to do.
Exactly.
No matter what it is, disinfection or products being used, all of it.
Dude, the city of Anaheim. So we're in Anaheim, right? The city of Anaheim, because we're a manufacturer, they check in with us.
Surprise.
All the time, right? Because a lot of nail polishes, for example, a lot of people, it's funny, people don't know nail polishes are flammable, there's a lot of hair products, a lot of beauty products in general are flammable.
Yeah.
So the city of Anaheim comes down and says, this is what you have to do to store. This is what you have to do to keep them labeled. This is, A, B, C, D, and E. I don't tell the Department of Anaheim or the fire department, okay, thanks, and then they walk away and I'm gonna do what I want because I'm gonna save money.
Well, you could, but they'll close you down.
Dude, they will
and fine you.
Yes, they have told me. We have a very good relationship with the city of Anaheim. We always have since the very beginning, and I've always been like, yo, tell me what I got to do, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna follow the rules because that's the way it is. I'm not going to fight against the law because I want to keep my business.
Right. And how stressful, because their inspections are a surprise.
Always.
They don't call you up, hey, could you just get your crap together? We'll be in there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get, so it's a surprise. And how stressful would it be if you knew you weren't doing something you're supposed to? Same thing with state board.
Yeah.
State board is always a surprise. So
right.
They walk in and believe me, they're looking for that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And they know, so why have that stress? Even worry about it.
I remember there was one of the guys from the fire department would come down and he would spot check us, and I would have just conversations with him, and he would tell me, he was like, yeah, I just shut down a nail polish company in Anaheim, selling nail polishes, and they storing it a certain way, and I told them you can't, and gave them a warning and fined them, and then they did it again, and then we shut them down.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm like, not going to do that. This is my business. We have employees. You've got to work within the bounds of the law. Yeah. That's non-negotiable.
Exactly. And could you save some money by doing it not in the bounds of
everybody?
The law? I mean, just think of how much you spent on that fireproof room.
It took us a year to build, and it was very expensive, but we did it, and it's like I go home and I sleep and peace of mind. And I think it's the same thing. And if you're a consumer also, it's so important that you are educated and that you walk into the salon that you go into. You should ask questions, Hey, I wanted to know, what kind of liquid do you guys use? Do you guys use EMA? Do you use MMA? Use that term. Do you use ethyl methacrylate? Do you use methyl methacrylate? If you're dropping that kind of vocab, they're going to be like, oh, she knows, hey, we use ethyl. Yeah. We don't use methyl. Or if they give you an answer like, oh, I don't know what that is, or what are you talking about? Or they're playing dumb, I would probably walk out of that salon.
Well, some may not know the exact chemistry because, especially when you're on the spot, you're like, is it ethyl? Is it? But
MMA,
every nail tech knows whether they're using MMA or not. Because
absolutely.
We're very familiar with it. We're taught that straight from school. And you know what I will say, Habib, I'm real happy with. When I first got out of school, it was very common for salons to use it. And I don't find it to be as common.
You're right. And the reason why we're talking about this is because all these questions have popped up lately. And so we're going to address things that you guys want to know. Yep. And the short answer is do not use MMA, period, end of story. In the state of California, it is illegal. I don't have the exact nationwide and how many states and all this. That's very easy to look up. You guys can look that up and check to see if it's illegal.
Check with your state board.
Stay with your state board. And even nationwide. I know laws are constantly changing. We haven't had to actually, look deep into this because it's a topic that hasn't come up in the last year.
It's been a while.
It's been a little bit. But you should definitely do some research and check. But the bottom line is do not use it. Don't put yourself or your customers in that kind of danger. Stay away from it. Use ethyl methacrylate monomer liquid. And that way you keep yourself safe, customer safe, your business out of trouble.
Yep.
And let us know in the comments below your take on this. Would love to hear your thoughts. And also, if you've got an idea or a topic you want us to discuss, let us know in the comments below. Tracey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Biz Talk.